Scott. Welcome back to my home and my kitchen. About a week ago I had an email from a viewer asking me if I had a creative way to use hamburger. They like making hamburgers the traditional way, but wanted if there was something really creative we could do sort of with that same process, and I have the answer. They're actually called squealers in the South. It's when you take hamburger meat and mix it with ground bacon and other spices and make those into hamburger patties. We're going to make actual little miniature ones called sliders. I'm serving them at a dinner party tonight, real casual, with french fries, but they're going to be delicious. So let's get started. For the miniature hamburgers that we're calling squealers, this is what you're going to need. It's 1 pound of freshly ground red meat. You need 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. I'm using panko breadcrumbs. You could use regular breadcrumbs. It doesn't matter. 1/2 cup of finely chopped green onion, and when I say it needs to be very, very finely chopped, almost like confetti, because we don't want big chunks of that in our hamburgers when we get ready to cook them. You're going to need 2 eggs. You need 1/2 pound of bacon. You can put that into a food processor and pulse it until it's nicely ground up. You could put it through a meat grinder, or you could just use a knife and chop it up very, very finely, and I'm saying probably like 1/8 of an inch little pieces. We're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, a pinch of salt, and a dash or 2 of Worcestershire sauce. And this really cannot be any easier to get together. You take your ground meat, we're going to spread our breadcrumbs in, our green onion, which adds such a great flavor to this. We're going to add our 1/2 pound of the very, very finely chopped or ground bacon. Add our 1/2 teaspoon or so of black pepper, freshly ground. Pinch of salt, kosher or sea salt, whichever you prefer. And a dash of the Worcestershire sauce, just to give that nice, deep, rich flavor to this. And the 2 eggs. All that goes in, and don't be afraid. If you're wearing rings, take those off. And with your hands, just gently combine this. You don't want to squeeze the meat too much because you want it to sort of incorporate nicely, but don't use a lot of force. Don't grind it like you're making a meatball. Just loosely kind of incorporate everything together. We got the meat nicely combined. I'm going to cover this up with some saran wrap, wash my hands, and put it in the refrigerator for at least 1 hour, and up to 4 hours will be fine. And then we'll come back and we'll get them formed up into our little slider patties. It's been just about 2 hours, and the meat mixture was in the refrigerator that time, letting those flavors sort of combine and come to a nice, cool consistency so they stay together better when you put them on the grill or in the skillet or however you choose to cook them. So at this point the mixture is ready to go. You could divide this into probably 6 nice sized burgers. There's 1.5 pounds of meat here, so about 6 burgers. But I'm actually making these into little miniature burgers called sliders often. And I bought these little rolls at the grocery store. I came in a little pan, 12 to a pan, and I picked out a square cookie cutter, the same size as the rolls, just a little bit bigger because the meat's going to shrink up as it cooks. So that's how we're going to do these. So I'm going to put these together using our cookie cutter. So I have my cookie cutter just set on a nice wooden board that I've sprayed lightly with non-stick cooking spray, as well as my sheet pan that I've lined with foil and also sprayed that with cooking spray as well. If you're making larger burgers, you could use a larger cookie cutter to make your forms, or just do them by hand. I like to use a scoop so I know that each patty is going to be the exact same size. And for this particular cookie cutter, it takes 2 scoops. So I have my meat placed right inside the cookie cutter. I'm just going to take my fingers and push that around until it's completely compacted and the shape that I want. Pull it off, and just with a spatula right onto our cookie sheet. So I'm going to repeat this process until all the meat's been used up. I'm thinking I'll probably get about 12 patties out of this mixture. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about why this mixture is so good. A lot of times people say that their hamburgers turn out a little bit dry, but I mean, a lot of times it's because they use a very lean meat. But you're not going to have that problem with this particular mixture because the bacon is going to add a lot of extra liquid to this, nice in the form of fat. And the breadcrumbs that we added to the mixture are going to help to hold that water in, or that liquid into the patty. So it's really, really juicy. And one thing, when you cook these patties, you want to make sure that you cook them all the way through. You don't want to serve these rare because you are using bacon, and the bacon does need to be cooked through. So make sure they're cooked. Not well done, but just enough so that everything throughout the patty is completely cooked. So I'm going to get all these patties formed, then we'll head out to the grill and get them cooking. So to get these cooked off, what I've done is preheated the grill to about 450 to 500 degrees. And these have a lot of fat in them, obviously, from that additional 1/2 pound of bacon. So on my grill, I've taken a cast iron skillet, or a cast iron griddle, and put that on and heated that up along with the grill. It's going to be perfect. It's going to keep the fat from really dripping down onto my fire and creating flare-ups, which we don't want in this. Another great way to cook these is on the stove top on a skillet or under the broiler. About, you know, really hot broiler, about 5 minutes per side. They work out perfectly. For these size patties, the little slider size, I'm going to cook them about 2 to 3 minutes per side. For a regular size hamburger on a griddle or in a skillet, I would say probably 5 minutes per side. So I'm going to get all of these patties right onto our griddle, let them cook for the 3 minutes. I'm going to flip them over and let them cook for the additional 3 minutes. All right. Just getting these turned over. They cook, just like I said, about 3 minutes on the first side. I'm going to give them about a minute or so on this side, then I'm going to add the cheese and let them finish cooking for the additional 2 minutes, giving them 3 minutes on both sides. Then we'll take them inside and get them plated up. Okay, as you can see, the little burgers are looking so cute. They're topped with cheese, and they smell, I wish you could smell them because they smell so good. I think it's the combination of the green onion and the bacon. It just smells good, and the Worcestershire. So I'm going to get all of these off. We're going to go inside and get them plated up. Alright, to get these plated up, I'm going to take one of my little buns. And it's important when you have such a high-fat, juicy burger like this, put some sort of layer between the burger and the bun. So what I do is take some mayonnaise and put that right along the bottom. And that's just going to seal that burger so the juices don't soak down into your bread and get it really soggy. Then on the top bun, put a layer of mustard. You could top these with other, you know, slices of tomato, lettuce, pickles. I'm going to serve all that stuff on the side. So all we have to do then is put our little slider right there and top it off. I'm going to serve 3 of these per person along with some French fries. They're going to be delicious. So here's the presentation. I'm doing 3 little sliders per plate along with some ketchup for dipping and French fries that I like to serve in little parchment paper cones, sort of Parisian style like you'd find on the streets of Paris, along with a really nice bottle of beer. Root beer would be delicious, or even iced tea or water. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe for my version of little mini hamburgers called squealers. They're delicious. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and please feel free to email me at scottindenver@msn.com should you want to make a comment on this particular recipe or ask me to prepare one for you. I'll be happy to. Alright, have a good day. Bye.